So let's talk about this little phrase. So we hear all the time, I'm single by choice. You know the one. It's like the modern day equivalent of, it's not you, it's me. But with a sprinkle of self-empowerment and a side of brunch. I mean, what does that even mean? Are we really choosing to be single? Or are we just not trying to save face while we binge watch Netflix alone with a pint of ice cream? Let's break it down. When someone says, I'm single by choice, what they're really saying is, please don't feel sorry for me. I'm fine, I'm thriving. I'm a majestic unicorn who just doesn't want to be tamed. But let's be real for a second. We all know that deep down, there's a little more to it. It's like saying you're on a diet while you're standing in front of a cake display at your favorite bakery. You're not really fooling anyone. Now, I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade. I get it. We live in a society that glorifies independence. We're told that being single is the new black, and that self-love is the ultimate relationship goal. And hey, I'm all for self-love. I mean, who doesn't want to treat themselves like a king or queen? But let's admit it. Sometimes it's just a fancy way of saying, I swiped left on every date because my last relationship was a dumpster fire, and I'm still trying to get the smell off my clothes. Let's dive into some of the real reasons behind this statement. Reason number 1, fear of commitment. Oh yes, the big C. It's like the monster under the bed that we all pretend doesn't exist. Commitment can be terrifying, right? You're basically signing a contract for a lifetime of shared Netflix passwords, and let's face it, nobody wants to share their account with someone who watches those weird documentaries about people who live in caves. Then there's the fear of vulnerability. You know, that feeling when you're about to share your deepest secrets with someone, and suddenly you feel like you're standing on a tightrope over a pit of alligators. It's not just scary, it's downright terrifying. So it's easier to say, I'm single by choice, than to admit that you're just not ready to put your heart out there again. And how about the classic, I'm focusing on myself? Ah yes, the elusive self-improvement journey. We've all been there. You're at the gym, you're reading self-help books, you're meditating. Basically, you're one yoga class away from being a full-blown guru. But let's be honest, sometimes focusing on yourself just means you're too busy scrolling through Instagram wondering why everyone else seems to have their life together, while you're still trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. Then we have the I'm too busy excuse. This one's a classic. You know, work is crazy, life is hectic, and you've got a million things on your plate. But let's get real. If you can find time to binge watch an entire season of a show in one weekend, you can find time to go on a date. You're just prioritizing your couch over your love life, and that's okay. We've all been there, wrapped in a blanket burrito while the world outside is swirling with romance. Now, let's not forget the I'm just waiting for the right person line. This one is a crowd favorite. It's like saying you're holding out for a unicorn when you can barely find a decent horse. Newsflash, folks. The right person is not just going to magically appear like a genie from a lamp. Sometimes you have to put in the effort to find that person. But hey, if you want to keep waiting, I respect that. Just know that while you're waiting, the rest of us are out here trying to figure out if we should text back or just let that conversation die a slow, painful death. And let's not overlook the I'm just not ready brigade. This is the group that's been burned before and is now walking around with emotional armor thicker than a medieval knight. They're like, I'm not ready for a relationship because I'm still healing. Healing? Healing from what? A bad haircut? A bad date? The trauma of watching your favorite show get canceled? It's okay, my friend. We've all been there. But sometimes you just have to take that leap and risk falling flat on your face. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I actually am happy being single? And that's totally valid. You can be single and thriving. Just remember, there's a fine line between being happily single and being single, because you can't find anyone who can tolerate your obsession with pineapple on pizza. So here's the takeaway. When someone says, I'm single by choice, let's decode it together. Sometimes it's empowerment, sometimes it's fear, and sometimes it's just a shield against the world. But at the end of the day, whether you're single, dating, or in a relationship, the most important thing is to be true to yourself. Embrace your journey. Laugh at the quirks of dating, and remember that love, like a good pizza, comes in many flavors. And if you find yourself single by choice, just know you're not alone. We're all figuring it out together, one awkward date at a time. So, raise a glass to all the single folks out there. Whether you're swiping left or right, just keep being your fabulous self. Cheers.